Hey there, Dr. Paul Martin with Brain Life Chiropractic. I know it's been a while since the last video installment, and I blame Mexico. I got off track. We went on vacation. We went to Mexico for 12 days, and it was great and fun. I might be a little bit tan still. I don't know. But now we're back, and we're looking at how we can help people with more videos. So today I want to talk about the difference between survival and healing. Because a lot of times when you are suffering from something and the symptom will actually go away, and then people think that they've healed. And the truth of the matter is that that isn't what happens, usually. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the body totally heals from something right in the moment, but typically we're under too much stress in our lives to allow that to actually take place, which is where chiropractic comes in and other healing modalities. What typically happens when a symptom goes away is that the body has figured out a way to adapt or distort itself to get around that symptom. So let's say there's something, you've injured your ankle a little bit. Well, your body will actually have you walk in a different way. It'll actually change your pattern of footfall so that you don't feel that ankle anymore. But then the stress will actually translate up into your knee, and then the knee will have something going on, and then the hip will have something going on, etc., etc. And then people end up with low back pain, and like, but I've never hurt my back. And that's because you can't necessarily go with where the pain is as far as where the original problem is. Happens all the time. And that's all a survival mechanism. You see, the body's first order of business when dealing with stress is to survive it. Because if you can't survive it, nothing else matters, right? There's no opportunity for healing if you're not surviving. So you have to survive first, and the body knows this, so it seeks to survive. Which is why, when you're under stress like that, it creates something that chiropractors call the subluxation. It is an internally generated phenomenon. And its whole purpose serves just like a circuit breaker in a house. If you have too much of a load on the electrical circuits in the house, like fridge, hairdryer, vacuum cleaner all at the same time, the circuit will trip. And the reason it does that is not to just piss you off. It does that because it's trying to save the house from burning down, right? We don't want too much electrical load, and if the wiring isn't made up for it. So then you have to take some of the load off the system, flip the circuit back. And the chiropractic adjustment works the same way when we're talking about subluxation, is that what we're trying to do with the adjustment is restore the connection to the body that gets lost with the subluxation. That connection gets lost with the subluxation as a part of that survival mechanism. And in the midst of all that stress and you can't deal with it, that's where the subluxation is generated. And it distorts your whole body, your whole system. It could be in your neck, but it actually affects your whole body. Which is why getting adjusted in your neck can sometimes help with low back pain or ankle pain or whatever it is. And so then the purpose of the adjustment restores that connection in a time and space where you're actually more able to then allow the body to do its healing. And so that is the difference between survival and healing. It's a matter of it's a state change. And so we have to get through survival mode first. And that's usually crisis care. That's usually when people first come in, they're in survival mode, they're doing their best to adapt, and it's just gotten to that point where they just can't do it anymore. And so the adjustment gives them the space that they need to actually heal, usually in conjunction with taking some of that stress off, which is why chiropractors often advocate for lifestyle changes, whether it's eating the right way or doing appropriate exercise or changing schedules or sleeping better. These are all lifestyle things that can help remove stress from your system and allow healing to take place. And then the adjustment restores that connection to the body, and then the symptom becomes unnecessary because the symptom is really just a warning sign for something going on. So it's not something you want to cover up. You don't want to just cover up a symptom. I know they're uncomfortable, but you've got to listen to your body and try and follow its lead. Do what it's asking you to do. When you have pain, don't just cover it up. I mean, obviously, if it's really horrible, everyone has their limit when it comes to that sort of thing. So, do what you got to do, but listen to it. And if I can give no other message, listen to your body and try not to just ignore or cover up these symptoms. And that can help you move from survival into a healing mode more readily. When you're tired, your body's asking for rest. And that's a symptom that we often push past. I'm guilty of this too with caffeine. We'll get 4 or 5 or 6 hours of sleep and just get some caffeine, some coffee, and just power on through to try and get through it. But we're tired. The body needs healing, and it needs rest in order to do that. So that's some of the differences between survival and healing. I feel like this is a big topic. I could talk a lot more about it, but that would make for a much longer video, and there's all kinds of tangents I can just feel in my brain coming off of this one. So if you have questions, please post them in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. I would love that, to know that people are actually out there listening. And let me know if this has been helpful or not, and topics you might want to see. Any of those are good. So this is Dr. Paul Martin with Brilliant Life Chiropractic. Remember, you deserve a brilliant life. Let it shine.